Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's Orange, the color orange player, and working our way westward, we have Igrek going first land as a UEF. He is an 1100 again in orange, the color orange. To his northwest in ruby red, we have Pepe's going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1300. To his southwest, we have Ilmir going first land as a Cybran. He is a 1300. I think I got his name right. To his northwest, we have in Light Oak Tan Varanachek going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1500. On the beach here to the southwest, we have BRS DCC 97 going first land as a Cybran. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and tied for the highest overall. And on his own little island to the northwest, we have Unique going first land as a UEF in Regal Purple. He is a 1300. So over Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF, 2 Cybran, and 2 Seraphim, which means Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. Starting off with Team 2 southwestern corner player and working our way eastward, we have in glow-in-the-dark green, Count Swagula going first land as a Seraphim. He is an 1100. To his southeast, we have in lightish red pink, Squealer going first land as an Aeon. He is a 1200. To his northeast, we have in forest green, the best color and faction combination in all of Supreme Commanderdom. It is the UEF player of Literal, and he is a 1500. To his southeast, we have in emerald green, Lesaus going first land secondary as a Seraphim. He is a 1500. To his northeast, we have in Barbie pink Battlefront going first land as an Aeon. He is a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2, and tied with BRS DCC 97 on Team 1 with the highest rated player tied for the highest rated player overall. And on his own little island in the southeastern corner of the map, we have the Chevy Crimson player of Maverick going first land as a UEF. He is a 1200. So for Team 2 side of the map, they also have 2 UEF and 2 Seraphim, but they also have 2 Aeon, which the difference between Team 1 and Team 2 is Team 2 lacks Cybran technology, Team 1 lacks Aeon technology, with each team having 2 of each of the other factions in numbers. So again, there are 4 UEF, 4 Seraphim, 2 Aeon, and 2 Cybrans totaling in this game. And for 12 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at a little bit over 13,000, so we'll round it out and do a little easy math for my head. It is a little bit over 1,000 mass per player. Not a lot, not a little bit, but definitely not a super amount of mass to scoop up. Most of it sitting in the middle of the map in this giant mass of mountains and nonsense that's over here. Very, very difficult to traverse this side of the map. I highly doubt there'll be anything in terms of land engagements through the direct middle of the map. Most likely anything they'll be kind of carving out either this path or this path. I don't really see anything, again, straight down the middle. The pathfinding would be too difficult for large armies to really mess with. Maybe a couple of scouts, but pretty much that's going to be about it. And for Team 2 side of the map, let's take a look at mass point layouts. We have 1, 2, 3 Trimex positions on the front line. One of those being, of course, near the giant massive mountains in the middle. Besides that, there's actually not a lot of mass points to scoop up. I'd say each player is probably going to sit about 3 in their main base plus an additional 7 or 8, I'd say. So maybe each player will get about 10, maybe. So I expect to see a lot of mass fabricators, lots of RASCOMs, and, of course, as much reclaiming as they can, because as we know, with 12 players, even with 2 players on the map, reclaim skyrockets significantly as the game progresses. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see where our players are headed off to this game. We have on Team 1 side of the map 3, 4, 5. Everybody on Team 1 has left their main base, working their way to the middle of the map. And on the opposite side of the map, we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody in the game, regardless of their position, is moving to the middle of the map. It looks like it's going to be possibly a 3v2 in favor of Team 2 in the east. We might see Ilmir transition eastward. But if he does continue westward, it's going to be a 4v3 on the western side here in favor of Team 1. But I do expect that Ilmir will probably send most of his forces, if he doesn't send his comm to the east, just to assist with that push. Because it's going to be essentially Team 1 having the advantage in the west, Team 2 having the advantage in the east. And, of course, in that manner, one side usually falls to one team and the other one holds. And that's kind of, again, vice versa the other way around. We already see some counter scouts and some nice little labs outbound here from both players on Team 1 and Team 2. Out from BRS and Literal sending his forces northward, intercepting a nice little engineer on some reclaiming efforts. And we have these group of units outbound looking like they're going to try to deny any sort of expansionary or reclaiming engineers here for Team 2. Besides that, not really a lot of poking and prodding it. We do see a little tiny little T1 bomber over the middle here for Lesaus, moving northward. I don't see anything else in air as of right now, and I would be very surprised if I do not see 2 air players this game, especially being the isolated players in the northwest and the southeast, and possibly 1 player on the eastern side and western side for Team 1 and Team 2 respectively. So I can definitely see that happening. If it doesn't happen, I would be surprised, but I'd say at least at a minimum, each team should have roughly 2 air players, especially with there being not really a lot of map to share in terms of land, and it being fairly landlocked in the early games. We do see an engineer dropped off in front of Le Grec. Don't know what that was about, but I saw the transport go over there, drop an engineer, and then die, so that was interesting. Maybe he was trying to go for that mech, but the comm from Ikorek was there to stop it. We do see an engineer trying to go after this little 75 mass rock. It will get there before that engineer will, so unfortunately for Team 1, it will be denied. Maybe they'll get a tiny share of the mass, but I highly doubt they'll get anything. We do see transport orders outbound from Maverick. Once again, looks like he's going to go on the eastern side and drop in the main base for Igrek, and then moving on to the northward against Pepe. He's trying to do probably a PD drop to, again, just do as much damage as he can. That would definitely devastate Team 1 on this eastern side if both of those players lose their main bases, at least their main mass-producing facilities. We could see possibly Team 1's Pepe's be fine, but since there's no land facilities here, that's going to be devastating here for Agrek if that transport does land, which I don't see any interceptors nearby, which means that transport will land. In the west, we do see that Team 1's Ilmir is actually pushing in on the west, going after at least the middle of the map, trying to just prevent any sort of incursion on this little alleyway that I mentioned in the beginning. Looks like he's going to meet up with Squealer, so it's going to be a nice little 1v1 action. That transport does drop most of his engineers and immediately starts building some Team 1 PD. Unfortunately, the engineer here from Team 1's Igrek starts the plasma cannon and then stops it. Will these engineers notice the reclaiming efforts from the engineer? Yes, they will. They will destroy that engineer, and unfortunately, all of these will be destroyed. Transport does drop off one engineer here and one engineer here. Looks like, I don't know what it's doing. It's just kind of hanging out. This engineer looks like Maverick's busy microing other things. It looks like they might just reclaim, possibly. I don't really know. Oh, he is, wow. Look at this. He is capturing a structure. Hey, hey, hey. The thing that I hardly ever see ever in a game. And a little T1 engineer captures a lonely little T1 mass extractor. So instead of trying to reclaim it and then scoop with the reclaim, he's going to get a couple more mass income per second. And that's not a lot, but hey, it's funny. So there you go. In this position, Agrek has lost his entire base. There's no saving it. A couple of Team 1 units are outbound from the south, as well as some couple artillery pieces as well to deal with the PD. Unfortunately, the base is essentially gone. There's still a T2 Mechs remaining, but not for long, I would imagine. But he is essentially nullified for the time being. He still has some mass income, to be fair, but he's severely lower than what his opponents are doing. T2 has been built on that commander for him, and T2 has also built on Battlefront, or is going to be built on Battlefront's commander. Checking in on the west, we see Ilmir and Squealer still having at odds. Bomber over top trying to deny, or at least scare off Squealer. Squealer will stop the building of the range upgrade. And has built the speed upgrade. Will be able to fire twice as fast as Ilmir. We do see in the west, gun damage range has been started for Unique. And a group of units outbound here from the glow-in-the-dark green player of Count Spragular, just moving back and forth annoying Team 1's units. Don't see any upgrades started as of yet for anybody else on Team 1 or Team 2 for that matter. No, I don't really see anything. It looks like the PD have been destroyed, but the T2 Mechs was also destroyed. It might get reclaimed. It does get fully reclaimed, so that's a decent amount of mass in Maverick's coffers. That drop was worth it significantly, and it does look like the Mechs was recaptured by Pepe. He doesn't really like his opponent stealing his Mechs. I think he'd rather have them destroyed than have them be stolen. We do see gun speed and range has been started for Count's Regular. Already half done with that. And Square, they're trying to force back Ilmer. He's really pressuring this side of the map. There's really not a lot of countering that you can do. Essentially, it's either a frontal assault or going all the way north, and then essentially you could kind of squeeze in a couple units here or squeeze in a couple units here. But it's really just a long, narrow corridor, very difficult to deal with. Reminds me of a map from Halo 1 multiplayer. I don't remember maybe it's Headlong. Maybe that's a different map. It's just a giant, long corridor. Very thin. Essentially, there's 2 lanes, and that's really about it. I can't remember what it's called, but that was a long, long time ago. Obviously, the MCC collection came back and brought those games and maps back into kind of, the 10 years, 15 years later. But it's been a while since I played that and played any multiplayer, at least on Halo for that matter. Anyway, Nano Repair has been started by Unique in the west, along with Stealth. BRS has built the gun upgrade. He probably will go for Nano next, especially with all those engineers nearby. I would not be surprised if he goes for that. T2 has been started for Pepe's. And he will not go for Nano. He'll just be satisfied with Stealth for the time being. Don't see any upgrades as of yet. Maverick has built T2. So Team 2 elaborating for a little bit more of a defensive position, as well as Team 1. Lots of T2 engineering suite upgrades are either on their way or already been completed. And gun damage and range, speed and range has been started for Veronicek nearby. Ilmer trying to support his teammate. Here, a couple of T1 PD have been built. But a couple of T1 artillery fervors are dealing with those PD quite easily. But there are Mantis moving in to intercept. Squilla has taken a ton of damage and is dropped into the yellow. It's not really snipe territory, at least in this stage of the game. But definitely has to be aware of where he is. We could see a rush for some either Corsairs or Nothers or Januses, but I don't really see anybody really focusing on that construction. Another drop outbound from Maverick. Is he going to capture? Yes, he is. Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, one engineer does not assist with the capturing of another engineer, so you can't increase the speed at which you capture structures. I think it's just that you just essentially reclaim capture at the same speed. That might be wrong on that, but that will be the second time he captures quote unquote the same mechs. Obviously, it's not the same mechs, but it's the same position, just upgraded to T2. Or it's actually structure upgraded to T2. We do see advanced range has been started by Squealer. He's finished his regular range. And Ilmir going for T2 in the west. We see, again, 4 of the 6 comms for Team 1 in the west, being that there are 6 of the 12 comms in the game on screen as of right now. 4 from Team 1, 2 from Team 2. It's a 4v2 with Literal a little bit further back. He could push in to assist a little bit, but it looks like he's trying to wall off any sort of incursions from the middle. So that's kind of what's going on. We do see a little bit of some poking units out from the west, a lot of artillery, a couple of THAMs as well outbound from Pepe's, but most of those forces are moving in from Team 2's Battlefront player to intercept those. And that gun comm with the stealth upgrade for BRS pushing forward, getting some decent veterancy on board, already halfway to his 2nd star. Unique starting his progress to his 1st. We do see Count's Regular being assaulted by some Medusa, but Squealer with that advanced range commander will rip through those very, very quickly. And Veronicek comes in with his gun comm. We do see a couple of T2 PD being built by Ilma to support. And again, tickle cannons, very useful. We're taking out T1 units. That's really about it. Unless you have 1,000 of them trying to target one unit, then it's kind of effective. But again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. So, got a moot point at that point. I'd rather go for triads or literally any other PD. We do see that again, Team 1's comms moving southward, but we do see that Count Swagler has moved eastward and is now west after his, not necessarily failed attempt, but his not achieved victory or success attempt over here in the east. Trying to push back Veronicek and Ilmer. What this does do, though, is it does cut Team 1's attack power essentially in half. Not concentrating all of their attack power, let's say, over here, but it's easier for Team 2 to deal with being able to send a group of units with the comm versus 2 commanders versus 4 commanders and 2, essentially, in the same battle. We do see that Veronicek and Ilmer are pushing forward. PD creeping has been started by Ilmer, and speaking of PD creeping, I will be posting another voting session on my channel's community page asking what I should do for the first mission of the... I'm going to start with the UEF campaign, because I'm a UEF main, so why wouldn't I start with that? Anyway, it will be on the community for everybody to post. I'll probably put a link in chat with that as well, so everybody can go vote on what you want me to do. I think it's PD creep, and then there's, I think, 2 other ones that I picked. Can't remember the ones that I've decided right now. But anyway, let me know down in the comments, or just go ahead and vote about what you would like me to see in the first video, of course, of my campaigns in Supreme Commander. We do see Count Spragular is trying to force back Unique just sitting there peppering those defenses. Literal has come in to assist, allowing Squealer to get out of there. Team 1 bombers are on their way, and Veronicek has fallen in the red as well. Squealer below 800 hit points, trying to get under some shields, drops to 300, some parashields nearby, able to stave off the damage that would have probably killed off the comm. And Squealer, is suffering, trying to get out of danger here. We do see interceptors outbound from his teammate of La Sauce moving in to deal with those bombers. That could have been a really, really clutch kill here for Team 1, but unfortunately Squealer makes it out of danger with the assistance of Literal. It's great teamwork there by Team 2. We do see that Unique not willing to move is at 3-star veterancy. This production facility base has been destroyed, and it will allow Team 1 to pressure Team 2 on the western side, especially with Ilmar moving in around the middle. But we do see in the east, Team 2's Maverick is able to kill off Team 1's Agrek. Looks like it was probably some PD with some missile assistance, possibly. Doesn't look like there's any veterancy, so probably not. Maverick is at 1-star veterancy. Looks like he just kind of went and said hi, essentially. There's a couple of PD here for Team 1's Agrek, but not as much, it looks like. There's actually only 1, 2. And he did take a decent amount of damage. It looks like it was just a 1v1 fight with some land army. It looks like, obviously, not going to be a lot of reclaim to figure out what the heck happened, but it is now a 5v6 in favor of Team 2, the southern team. But again, Team 1 gaining a lot of territory in the west. Team 2 not really making as much progress with control of Igodek's forces, eventually going to Pepe to assist or deal with those and manage those a lot better. Squealer going for shield. Definitely a great play there. Trying to get 8,000 hit points immediately restored with shields not only assisted by himself, but also his teammate of Literal. Again, we saw a couple of Nothas coming in to try to kill Squealers, but again, those Team 1 AA emplacements, as well as a couple of parashields and asylums, I guess they're just the Aeon version of parashields, are enough to assist the commander in defense mode. We do see some missile launchers outbound from Team 1 going after T2 mechs. This one's going to kill off 9 mechs a second here for Count Swagger. Not a ton to lose per second, but again, multiple of those definitely hurts. T3 era has been established by Team 2. Looks like only one... Oh, no, 2 players on Team 2 went for T3 air. It's La Sauce and Maverick. Team 1 looks like it's all... Oh, nope. We see only 1 player on Team 1 going for air, and that is Veronicek. Team 2 will be able to outproduce Team 1 quite quickly unless they remedy that situation. It does look like Veronicek is assisting his comm with retreating orders with his ASF. I guess he wants to keep them in the air and not have them sit on the ground. I mean, I don't know if that really does anything a whole lot. I don't know. I forget if it burns fuel or not, if they're sitting on the ground versus not. I don't know. I should keep track of that, but I don't. And definitely a thing to watch out for. I would assume they will, because fuel, the units are quote-unquote on when they're on the ground anyway, so they would burn fuel even if they're idle. But that could be a mechanic that I don't really particularly know a whole lot. Anyway, in the southwest, Count Swagler just trying to force Unique back. Unique not wanting to give up ground. It's a gun commander versus gun and nano commander. We do see again Count Swagler at 2-star and Unique at 3-star, almost up to 4. With a couple of Ilshi kills, she should be able to get above that 6,500 mark to 4 stars. In the east, very quiet on the eastern front over here. Team 1 and Team 2 not willing to engage. T3 has been started by Battlefront. He is not UEF, so he can't go for Ravagers. and just kind of PD creep his way forward. But we do see that Maverick is obviously his UEF. He could go for T3, but it looks like he's going to retreat. And I think he's going to build up a couple of those mass storages to increase his mass production and then go back home, or at least hide in the water. So it looks like all quiet on the eastern front from now for both of these teams. Looks like, especially with the loss of Igrek, a lot of the momentum, a lot of the focus on land engagements definitely didn't say die down, but it kind of just is sizzling right now. It's on low for heat. It's not really, again, really up and up. It's just kind of there. We do see Ilmer again, PD creeping, nice firebase coming online. We do see the evolution to the Perseus. The T3 land technology has been focused down by Literal. And with the combination of Titans dealing with those smaller, weaker units, being able to blitz those down very quickly again, and the Percy suffering a ton of hit point damages, but it does allow for a lot of distraction, allow these other units and actually one other Percy to get in to deal with this firebase. Ilmer does retreat. He's retreating behind more PD. I love the fallback position, being able to at least deal some damage as he is retreating. But of course, the downside is that this base suffers a tiny bit from not having as much protection. But this was built before this was, so it's kind of just the nature of moving forward. You kind of have structures already built, but you can't just... You could reclaim them and then quote-unquote move them, but that takes time and energy, and who has the time and APM for that? In the west, we do see that Squealer's back on the front line. Shield online, gets another veterancy, reps up a decent amount of hit points because of that. Is now sitting at 6,900 out of 1,300, and of course 8,000 hit points. But Unique is nearby, so that could be an easy kill. Unfortunately, here for him, there is a second comm of Count Spraggler. Both of these comms are in the yellow. One has shield, one does not. Kind of surprised that Spraggler has not gone for his nano upgrade to be able to rep up his hit points even more quickly than his opponent of Unique, but priorities and whatever he's building might call for the use of that versus anything else. But, you know, and definitely could be a little useful for going for nano, especially in this early when snipes. I mean, we already saw one potential snipe that almost worked. It was very, very close, 400 points, kind of close. He could go for nano to deter that sort of nonsense. We do see that Loyalist moving in here from Team 1's BRS, augmenting his frontline forces. Don't see a lot of T2 anymore except out of these bangers, T2AA. And ASF sitting here to protect the comm of Ilmer on the front line while their commander Veronicek is back in the waters. We do see a nice little... Is that a Titan? No, that was... that's Pink. I think that was that Barbie Pink? Well, if it's Barbie Pink... Well, they're both Aeon. That works. So regardless if it's Barbie Pink or Lightest Red Pink, it was still Aeon, which means that's a Harbinger. Looks like it did a little bit of damage, not as much, but it did distract Team 1 a little bit. Again, as I mentioned in most of my casts, it's all about distractions. How much can you just take away from EPM to APM, and be able to focus your opponent's attention somewhere else? We do see that Squealer is being forced back, but he's back up to the green 12,000 plus hit points. Plus his additional 8,000 in shields, and is at 3-star veterancy. Count Spraggler coming in, another veterancy on board his commander, adds a little bit more regen to him. Again, in the east, we do see a large buildup of red forces outbound from Pepe's. A lot of T1 and T2, not a lot of T3, not a lot being none. And we do see T3 units are online for him in the Seraphim technology era, but he looks like he's just going for straight Autumn production. He does have some UEF tech over here, but it doesn't look like he's really focusing on that too much. I would like to see him go Perseus, just because they're, again, every game I will mention it, and every game I will not hide the fact that I love Perseus. That might even be a challenge that I do for one game or one level of I can only build Perseus in terms of land units, in terms besides engineers, because I mean engineers, it just might be a thing that I do. Just I can only build Perseus, so that'll be a fun challenge. I can't build PD or anything, just Perseus. But I'd have to use my comm for a lot. Anyway, if that works, we'll see. Anyway, we do see again these Harbingers ripping apart this base. There are a couple of artillery that are trying to stop them, but again, T1 artillery versus T3 assault bots of the Harbinger variety. Not the best matchup there between those forces. We do see the comm of Pepe's is nearby. This is a decent amount of T3 units, though. He has to be very careful. He has T2 and nothing else. No veterancy, no gun, no nothing. So, again, has to be very careful. And he even notices, he's like, nah, I'm probably going to get out of range with some of Zolber's shooting him in the back. Doesn't really do a lot because their absolvers are designed for shield damage, not necessarily for actual hit point like hull damage. But, you know, again, something's better than nothing. We do see a run by, possibly trying, not going to get anywhere, unfortunately, here for Team 2's Count Swagular, trying to go after, again, Mechs is back here. T2 Mechs looks like it will get taken out, though, by the Zooey. They should continue to move, but there are more Percy's coming in to resupply and reinforce that front line. Of course, with BRS's forces moving westward to assist. But look at this column of Harbingers continue to move northward and carve through Pepe's essentially mainland, his supply lines, essentially. In the east, you can see this base is eventually going to be isolated if these Harbingers continue to go all the way north. It's definitely going to be dangerous. And isolating not only the comm, but just a chunk of Team 1's landmass. And at this stage in the game, let's take a look at the game overall. Team 1 at 1.1k mass income, Team 2 at 1.2. I did know that Team 1 was leading the mass game for a while, and Team 2 has just jumped, obviously partly due to the fact that Mechs have been destroyed and are being rebuilt as we speak. We can do see Team 1 is barely it's very close. It's probably 1.18 something to 1.25 something. Again, we don't see the full numbers, but we see roughly the same numbers, exactly what YouTube does. Oh, actually, that's worse than what YouTube does, because YouTube at least gives you the third digit. Anyway, Team 1 has lost only one player so far. If I correct, Team 2 has all 6 players remaining. And, of course, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate any and everything that you do for the channel. Of course, regardless of what it is, I really do appreciate it. And in the north, we do see Corsairs moving in, killing off one Harbinger in particular. That one in particular needed to die. Corsairs coming in, trying to target another Harbinger. Did one of them get shot down? Oh, I guess there are some AA guns in there. Love the fact that Battlefront has included some AA units. The Corsairs are going after the land units, the land units in terms of the attack power, the Harbingers, while the Redeemers are able to poke and prod at the cruisers. They probably won't, Corsairs, they won't take out probably all of them, but they'll take out a decent amount of them to really cut down on the damage per second that they do output. And some PD have been built by Pepe's to deter this Harbinger threat. But as I mentioned, look how far forward this is carving. Multiple transports are outbound with engineers from Maverick to scoop up the reclaim. He's really aggressive with those transports, trying to reclaim as much as he can. Also sending in ground engineers as well to come in and assist. I guess there are rover drones, so I guess there's our air engineers, air quotes, on the engineer. More as drones than engineers. Anyway. But engineers haven't been given orders yet, and some of them are still on board the transports. Might be given new orders somewhere else, but a lot of the mechs, even over here, have been taken out. Looks like more units. Oh, I know more units, but I don't think they're engineers. Look like they're T1 units outbound from, I would assume, Maverick, because they look UEF, so he's been, again, very, very aggressive with those transports. In the west, T3 has been started here for Unique, and Rascom has been started for Baron to check. 25 minutes on the clock. Somebody has probably started thinking about how to end this game. Team 1, highest eco player is BRS. He's at T2 air. He's fighting back with those Corsairs, as I mentioned. Going for Crab, skipping Monkey. That could be something that really cracks open Team 2's defenses on the western side. Don't see anything else gating in of SACUs. Pepe's has been defeated by Battlefront. Looks like some Harbingers came in to say hi, and he was defeated, unfortunately, here by Team 2's Battlefront, and that is now a 4v6 in favor of Team 2. And with that, BRS will inherit everything that Pepe's did own. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives it to Ilmer, or he just keeps it. He could keep it, especially at this stage in the game. He probably wants that reclaim, especially income to be able to finish his crab off. In the west, I don't see any experimentals as of yet. Battlefront builds the first experimental, I think, of the game. It's going to be a Colossus, if I were to bet. Or he was handed off a couple of engineers from Cybertech, but it is a Colossus. And quantum gateways are being established. And the satellites have already started to emerge as I zoom in with every word I say. Maverick building the lasers in the sky. The suborbital, low atmosphere, maybe low atmosphere lasers that have omni sensors and are very, 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 can be very, very OP depending on the situation. And there, oh, excuse me, there already is a monkey online. So BRS did not skip monkey. He went for monkey, then crab. Sometimes players do skip the monkey just because they want to get the longer range crab and hit points, but you know, monkey is really nice to have. Unfortunately, Ravagers outrange monkeys and a lot of units in this game, and Loyal is taking some shots from a Ravager. Is not great for Team 1's front line. I've already lost a couple of units, a couple being 2. But of course, as that goes on, more and more PD are being built, which means more and more damage on Team 1's side of the map. And that would probably mean that BRS is going to send that crab. Yep, and that's where it's going. And that's probably where it's going to go, going after those Ravagers in the west. Kill NG says Count Swagula. Looking like they're trying to deter the amount of engineers on the field over here. Shield has been destroyed. Engineers being targeted as mentioned. And SMDs saying BRS, and they're trying to say, hey, build some SMDs here. Team 2 has a nuke, question mark? I don't... Oh, nope. There is a nuke, and that does warrant the SMD. The Stone Anger T3 strategic missile launcher is coming online. That could be also a thing that I could do is just do all nukes. And that would include belly nukes. I would include belly nukes in that if I did a UEF one. That I would qualify as that. That would be very interesting. I would probably have to do like only defenses and nukes. I think that's the only way I could really do that. And coming up with ideas for ways I could play campaign maps. Again, let me know down in the comments, or even the comment for the original post, or anything in general, if you come up with any interesting ideas for doing like only air units, or only naval units, or only satellites, or you know, something like that. Let me know down in the comments your ideas for how I should play the campaign games. And of course, if you have a root claim that you want me to look at, please send it at strategiclaunchreplays@gmail.com. My email is in the description of all my videos, at least most of my videos. So you should be able to find it and send me that replay. We do see that monkey going after the land forces here from Team 2. Couple of Percys and Harbingers trying to stave off the incursion. There's a lot of PD in back, T3 and T2 alike. The crab moving forward, killing off the rest of the Percys. The monkey receiving a lot of the fire, but the bricks doing a great job of being that mobile brick wall that they are. And it's just a numbers game at this point. Team 1 has the numbers. They're building PD. They have more PD. They have more PD, building more PD, trying to do what they can. Artillery also being built. And that monkey's going to take a lot of the brunt of the damage here. Try to bob and weave, but that crab is going to rip apart these defenses, the UEF ones. And then the Aeon and the Seraphim are going to be ripped apart next. We do see more units outbound here from his teammate of Unique pushing forward. Essentially carving the same kind of path of moving east and then south, but it looks like he's given up that. Just going to go straight south. The monkey is in the red, so he will sit here for a little bit. One Ravager tried to kill off the monkey, but as we can see, these ones over here cannot target that monkey. It is, there's a little mountain in the way. Hillock, whatever you want to call that. And that's going to prevent any sort of damage for the monkey. I did see some T3 artillery, outbound from Squealer. Going after those Serenities, very useful for taking structures and units out, of these units that don't move. But the crab, of course, sitting at 100 and now 21,000 hit points and climbing, is going to rip apart these defenses and open the door for Team 1 to push southward. And of course, at the same time, Team 2 is making their way northward on the eastern side. Looks like an air fight possibly occurred at some point. Team 1 is now in the lead, it looks like, for air power. I don't see anything else online for any of the other players on Team 2. So Team 1 is in air dominance territory, I would assume. Based on the numbers, 85. That's definitely air dominance territory, especially with Lasaus only having 15, and Maverick only having 8. So yeah, definitely air dominance for Team 1. And as they move westward to rip apart all the remaining defenders and defenses, Camp Forces Count Spagula in the water. And this will just continue to embolden Team 1 as they make their way southward. There is a Colossus under construction, definitely a while away from that. The only thing that really would shake things up, of course, is the nuke that's being loaded here by Literal. It's half loaded and half not loaded, taking your pick, depending on how you want to view that. SMD has been built, not loaded. This one will, actually, that one is loaded, and this one will about to load. So these two bases will be fine. This one over here will probably not be fine. The bases I would probably go after if I was Literal would either be this one over here, just to take up more eco for BRS, him being the main driver of land, and him continuing to just push and push and push against Count Swagula. He's building a chicken. I don't know if that's going to finish. Reclaiming what he can of the P-gens just to get as much mass in his coffers as he can. We do see a Colossus moving into intercept outbound from Battlefront. He walked all the way over here to this way. And is there a satellite? Nope, not yet, but a lot of defenses are being primed and ready here for Team 2's Maverick. Donut has been built. It probably was built while Team 2 had more ASFs. Unfortunately, Team 1 does not. Team 1 does have air dominance, so that might just die very quickly. ASFs have not been called for it, so that's going to be a little bit of a great useful tactic here by Team 2 to use this use this Donut as much as they can. The Crab and Monkey have retreated in the face of that Colossus coming in to carve a path through them. That Monkey would have died very quickly. Megalith might have survived. It would have been close. If the Monkey could hide behind the Crab, that might have been enough to kill the Colossus, but the Crab probably would have died. Those units aren't able to be destroyed, and the Chicken is able to survive and live another day. ASFs have not been... Oh, nope, here they are. They are inbound. Team 1 is moving them in. Team 2 moves their remaining ASFs in to intercept. Team 1 is going to take that fight. I don't see a lot of AA. I see a lot of T1, but not a lot of T2 or T3. Missiles outbound from the Tsar will help a tiny bit, but not a lot. The numbers, again, will heavily favor Team 1 and rip apart those ASFs. More coming in from Team 2, trying to do what they can to kill off as many ASFs as, well, they can. And it looks like there might be more focus on T3 air on the AA on the western side. More ASFs come to join Maverick, moving his in. Nuke is outbound, going to land in BRS's base. Unfortunately, that Nuke will not land. He's also built an SMD, and that one is about to load as well. So even if that one wasn't loaded, that one might have been loaded in time. And that Nuke is going to sail across the map, will be destroyed. I do like this just line of air scouts, just like, I'm just going to keep sending him in, trying to get some way through. 76 kills, 5-star veterancy air cleaner from the UEF variety of literal. That's just because of all the air scouts. 78 kills. That's 3,200 mass killed off, and it's just raining in mass. Just, you know, a slow little drip. I think it's what, 11 mass for a wreck. Actually, some of those aren't even having wrecks. Excuse me. The air scouts not leave wrecks? Oh, it might be how much damage is done to them. That's definitely a thing. Anyway, those forces from Team 1 are pushed back. This base over here is perfectly fine. Ravager's forcing them back, but they do have a perimeter monitoring station online with those nanites in the air. Don't forget to eat your microplastics or nanites in this game, because you got to eat those. Don't eat them. That's the joke. Don't eat them. That's bad for you. Don't do that. As I said that, I realized probably shouldn't say that. And just say in-game, in-game, in-game. In the east, we do see a Chicken forcing back Team 2's front line. Colossus was defeated. Looks like they killed another Chicken. And that will be the end of this front. A lot of no man's land in the east. Team 1 trying to rebuild. Team 2 has owned that for a while. And T3, not Ravagers, Whalers online, wailing against those mechs here from Team 2. Another Donut is online. I kind of question going for Donuts. I mean, the first one was fine because there was a little bit of ambiguity between who had air control, but definitely the second one, I don't agree with that, because you just see the ASFs go, okay, we're just going to come in and say hi. We do see more ASFs coming in here from Team 2's airplanes. Donut will land, essentially be a nice little gift for Maverick to build more satellites. Team 1 will know about the satellites at this point if they don't already know already. And there are going a couple of AA emplacements have been built. Shield to protect the first 2 satellites. Love to see the shield built earlier in the mix. And again, the air presence will still be in favor of Team 1, but ever so slightly you can see just as more ASFs come in and deal with those ASFs from Team 1, that number continues to go down. And those, you know, T3 AA flares definitely useful with dealing with that. But it's going to be a while between any sort of, I mean, there is a Chicken nearby, so that might be, that Team 1's going to send in. I don't know if they'll send it all the way in because there's 2 Colossus, 1 severely wounded. There is a Chicken as well. Essentially would be a mass gift for Team 2, so probably shouldn't send it in immediately. Looks like he's building more Transcenders around his position, just add to the AA presence in that area. Fight in the west, Colossus pushing forward, gets annihilated by Loyalists and Bricks, and some Perseus as well. Team 1 just really keeping this western side strong. We do see Colossus turning around to deal with the other Perseus that got in around it. Unfortunately, it's going to be destroyed before it kills off those Perseus. It does kill off the Perseus it was holding, but unfortunately no more will die, at least from that Colossus. Fat Boy online from Literal. Speaking of Literal, how's your Nuke? It is 3/4, 5/6, 7/8, or whatever percentage, pretty close to finishing. I wish it told you how close it was finishing. That might be a mod. That might be a mod. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a mod for that. There's a mod for pretty much everything in this game. And Percy's trying to push these crabs back, or at least fire as they can. We do see some assailants trying to assist the Percys. They're not going to make it to save most of them, but they'll save some of them. And unfortunately here for Team 2, this front is slowly falling. They're trying to keep it back, trying to keep Team 1 back, but every time they go in, it just is devastation. It does look like they're able to hold for at least a little bit. A couple of crabs would definitely be enough to break this western side. Again, one Fat Boy isn't a huge threat, but now we see some Colossus as well making their appearance once again. So Team 1 needs more experimentals or artillery or game enders or their own satellites or whatever else they want to throw at Team 1. We could see a bunch of SACU spam in terms of Rambo comms. Advanced nano repair has been started by Count Swaggler, going for again the boost in hit points in regen factor. The donut has landed, of course, over here in the east, and Maverick is scooping that up. We do see some Rascals running around the map, going to build more mechs to augment his income. Second satellite has been completed. Third one is under construction. Needs more shields, most definitely. If Team 1 sent in some strap bombers, that would be the end of probably Maverick's career at a minimum, because they could easily place him right there. And they would kill both of... Actually, no, it would be right there. Kill both of the satellites and the comm. I think you would need... He's sitting at 35, so 36,000. You probably need, 13 or 14 bombs to land. Near him, Nuke outbound, going after this western base that is not defended with an SMD. That crab is gonna die by that nuke. That is not gonna feel good, because he's sitting at... Well, no, he'll be fine. He's at 90,000. I didn't check his veterancy. He's at 90,000. He'll be fine. It looks like the crab's moving away. Will still take a lot of damage, though. The crab will be put out of commission in terms of usefulness for the time being. Sneak chicken through water, says Pepe's. And the first nuke landing of the game will commence. Boom! The crab was barely out of range. And there it goes. Large, beautiful firebomb. Not the prettiest nuke in the game, but of course nukes are useful regardless of the type of explosion they do leave in their wake. We do see in that nano repairs coming online here for Team 2's Count Swaggler. Still good, chugging along. Doesn't have a lot of assistance for it, but again, he's just building it just to have it. He's not really trying to really blitz it down. And Team 2 playing a little bit more of a, definitely a defensive game, but very much a kind of held back. They are pushing a little bit on the west, but not a lot. There's a decent amount of Ravagers, though, here as well here for Unique. It isn't going to be enough to stop this Galactic Colossus, but Team 1 doesn't really have a lot of land units. They have a decent amount of Percys, but BRS specifically has a couple of Bricks and Loyalists, but that's really about it. And that Colossus will continue to move in. 2 monkeys are inbound. They're keeping out of range of that Colossus's main cannon. And those Percys walking in, they can probably blitz. I don't know if there's enough to blitz it down, but they definitely do a lot of damage. They're actually focusing on the Harbingers, not going after the Colossus. Trying to take out essentially the ads before you take out the boss is essentially what they're doing. But the Fat Boy is going to force back the Monkeyboys on this western side, at least a little bit. The crab moving in. Probably wants to get out the Colossus, act as the shield for those monkeys to move in. I did see a message in chat by somebody, it probably was Pepe's, saying, hey, you could send a monkey in the water over here. That'd be a really good play. There are now Autumns roaming the water, though, so they would be noticed. And they could try to go after Count Swaggler's commander, but he could pop out. It's all about the timing of how much damage are the monkeys going to take before they can force Count Swaggler out of the water and kill him with the laser. But they don't probably even, if they know the comm is there, well... We do see Corsairs running around. Don't know where those going, but they're going somewhere. It looks like they're going after the Colossus, going to force it in the water. That's what they're going after. Colossus will not die. Second Colossus now online here for Team 2 Squealer. In the east, we see that the third satellite is online. Team 1 has their own satellite, and shields are being built. Fourth one is almost online as well, but shield pops on at the last second. A little bit of damage was done to the Novak Center, but the fourth satellite is online. And we do see the Aeons helping assist the construction of the most, I think, annoying unit, air quotes, in the game to deal with. I think for most people is just the satellite. There's a lot of satellite hate in the game. I'm one of those people that the satellite's a nice tool. If you use it, great. If not, also great. But there's no like animosity towards it. It's kind of funny to watch just 8 satellites roam the map and just laser everything. It is very entertaining to watch. Entertaining to have it done to me? Probably not. But entertaining to watch. Don't need to know about the mass FAF panel. Wish I could get rid of the mass FAF panel. Don't care about the mass FAF panel. Please stop telling me game about the mass FAF panel. Anyway, Monkey will be defeated. Second Monkey will probably be defeated by the Colossus. The Crab is going to kill that Colossus, though. There are some Harbingers wailing into it, though. That could be a thing. And that Colossus does drop below 2,400. We do see engineers trying to assist the repairs on the Colossus. Colossus over here from Team 2 Squirrel as well. This one will die. One more shot. It'll do it. Drops it into the red. Then gives back pretty close to the yellow. Then gets dropped again. That Crab will die. It's a 1v1 exchange, and 2 monkeys die. Definitely Team 2 will benefit the most from this drop in mass in terms of unit killed. And we hear some fighting going down. We see crabs. We see chickens. We see Awasab Bomber. We see ASFs moving in. I'd say the first big ASF fight of the game. 40 minutes on the clock. Chickens moving in. Ion Storms taking out chickens. Chickens being killed by Ion Storms. And all the like Colossus being taken out by Ion Storms. Net 0 here for both teams. The only thing is that Team 2 will be a little bit closer to the reclaim than Team 1. And that was a lot of experimentals. 1, 2, 3, 4 Colossus. 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens. There are, of course, chickens from Team 2 and Team 1 in this mix. And all this is going to do is just prevent either team from getting any reclaim at any moment. The Awasab Bomber was defeated. And I don't think Team 2 ended up winning that fight in the air. No, they did not. Team 1 sitting at 200 ASFs. Team 2 sitting at probably 50. Okay, so 33 plus an additional 5, so 40. I'll round up to 40, and 4 satellites. So that's the thing. But Team 1 is an air supremacy realms of air in this game. I mean, anything over 150, I'd say, ASFs more is just a lot. It's a lot of ASFs to have more than your opponent. And I don't know why they're not pressuring as much in air. I know Team 2 is building AA. I mean, they have a lot of sniper bots and a lot of redeemers. We see some T3 AA around here and also around here. But Team 1 could easily build up 30 or so bombers and just rush in and kill off a couple of these satellites. The 5th one is under construction, with Maverick also splitting his attention between a Duke and a satellite. I mean, it's always a good thing to go for. He's not really using this island. He's using a decent amount, but I mean, islands are limited by space. There's more space over here. And this would be crowded if he put it on his landmass anyway, so it's good that he's using, other territory. He also splits up his opponent's attention between the artillery and his main base. Eventually drawing the attention away from his mass extractor, so there's no essentially collateral damage that occurs from artillery. We see on Team 1, third satellite is being built. Second one has been built. Lots of E-storages around the edges of that island, and more of them are going to be built. So this is the difference in strategy. We do see that Unique's using his main island as essentially his home, his base for his satellites, while of course Maverick is using the coastline for his base for his satellites. What this, again, like I said, does is it splits any sort of artillery pressure that might be mounted against Maverick, because they're going to be, not forced, but essentially they're going to go after the satellites, ignoring this, while he can go after the main base and the satellites at the same time. Pretty good strategy. Sometimes it plays off, sometimes it doesn't. But we do see that Team 1 also has an artillery online in the form of BRS's Disruptor, going after, well, what would you expect? The satellites. At least that's what it looks like it's going after at the current moment. I think they don't know about the artillery. Oh, no, they do know about it being built, so they know about that. But they're going to go after the satellites first. The 5th one has been constructed. 5 satellites versus 2 or 3, if that other one has been built. 3, excuse me. Nuke is launching once again from Literal. Literal, the only one going for Nuke so far. Going to go after this base. Go after, what is that, 27, 54, 81 mass a second. I mean, that's a chunk of mass. With Varen and Chick sitting at 438, going to drop to 350s essentially. In the east, no nukes or... Oh, we see artillery is being built here for Ilmir. And Awasa Bomber is going to be built here by Baranacek. I don't see anything else. Lots of monkeys. Lots and lots of monkeys here for BRS. He loves his monkey business. Boom! Takes out, again, that chunk of mass drops him to 350, 360. With, of course, reclaiming all of that, augmenting that income. I hear SACUs. Yep, there they are. We do see Colossus has pierced the front lines in the west with a lot of Harbingers moving in to deal with the onslaught of monkeys inbound. Chicken is online as well here from Count Swagler, and Team 2 is being forced back in the west. Things have flip-flopped. It was Team 2 is pushing forward in the east and Team 1 is pushing forward in the west, and then now those have flip-flopped where Team 2 is pushing in the west and Team 1 is pushing in the east with a bug online. Bugs aren't a bad unit. I'm not a huge fan of them. I prefer the Donut or the Awasa Bomber just because, I don't know. I mean, they're useful, don't get me wrong, and every unit has its place, but I like the Donut and the Awasa Bomber, I think, more than that one. And Chicken is being bombarded by artillery in the form of T2, Fat Boys, and now a Colossus coming up to say hi. You see there's another Chicken over here. Reclaiming efforts, that's the main thing that Team 1 is doing. Sending experimentals out to distract Team 2 while all of this reclaim is being grabbed by Team 1. A huge, huge move, and it's going to fuel more of their war effort and probably the artillery that's being built at some point. Nope, only one's being built, but the other one's being built over here. Team 2, how is your satellite production going? Looks like he's stopped for now. Nope, still going, building a sixth one. Again, I think the most I've seen built in the game is 12 by one player, so I don't think he's going to beat that, but he can. How many does one player really need? That's the text in the thumbnail for... I think there's another video that has more, but that was the first video that really had just so much artillery. Sorry, so much lasers. So many lasers were built that video. Another one being built. So it looks like this one was destroyed with the concentration of 5 satellites overhead. Team 1's Unique can't keep up with the energy demands, or at least the damage per second outbound from these satellites. Needs more engineers assisting more shields, essentially, to keep them online longer. They can only do so much, of course. You could have as many engineers as you want if enough damage is able to take out all of the capacity before they can regen or before it can, keep moving forward. It's just not going to be enough. Mavor definitely would be really good for this, of course, dealing with these high pockets of assisting engineer satellites. Looks like this satellite was deterred or destroyed, so a little unfortunate there. It looks like there is a break in the shielding right here. This one could be targeted. Artillery lands, does take out some hit points for that satellite. But for now, it looks like he needs probably one more in between all of these satellites, and at a minimum, just to protect a little bit more. Mass for artillery, says Literal. Now we see that Literal is going for artillery as well. And I don't see any other... Oh, no, there's a Hubatham being built here by Team 2 Seraphim player of Lesaus. And it looks like in the west, he's just holding up. Another Awasa bomber is being built. Team 2 is losing momentum. Of course, there's multiple chickens and an Awasa bomber online. Team 1 still not using their air as much as they can. I feel like they could take a pack either on the east... I mean, they could essentially fly all the way to the eastern side of the map, then get right about here, and then just move directly for the satellites. That's the main threat to Team 1 side of the map, are those satellites. I don't know where they went. Oh, no, they went after the Disruptor. Disruptor is dead and gone. Pigeons are being destroyed, which means tons of engineers are going down as well. Team 1 is starting to lose infrastructure. They've ignored the satellites for now, which is, again, good because sometimes you get that subcom brain and it kind of goes tunnel vision on stuff, but with one severely destroyed and being rebuilt, 2 of them are still online. It's damaged, but it's not as much. And it looks like the satellites have found new homes as well, going after Lesaus's base. He has a decent amount of shielding. Of course, they're Seraphim shielding, so they're even better than UEF. We do see that BRS is transported or teleported in. He has Telemazer online, trying to go after that one Novax. Fortunately, the shields pop on and off, and there he goes. Team 1 loses another player, and it's 47 minutes on the clock, and it's now a 6v3 in favor of Team 2. And we do see that the forces outbound from Team 2 on the east are pushing back at Team 1. There are 4 chickens online. And now an Awasa bomber is moving in. Would like to see some more T3 strat bombers. Ilmar control Ks as well. Looks like that's probably actually power related, not... I mean, that could have been a control K. There's a lot of shielding around him. And it's now a 2v6 in favor of Team 2. Our sub-bombers moving in. It's not going to pierce the shielding. ASS moving in. And our sub-bomber is going to get one bomb dropped. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to pierce the shielding. It's going to hit on top of the shield. But how many ASFs does that bomb kill? It kills a ton of ASFs for both players. And that bomber gets killed off anyways. Oh, one of those satellites is exposed. And this is where those T3 bombers could have come in and just carpet bombed everything. Already comments in chat about GGing and all of that. Bigger eco ever since 2007. Did they change something with the hotkeys? Oh, weird. Artillery has been built by Team 2's LaSalle is building a second one as we speak. And at this point, Team 1 has lost one artillery. They've lost the other one over here. They have no artillery left. I don't see any more being built anywhere else. Satellite's now going after... Oh, there's one being built here by Baranachek. And of course, the third satellite has been rebuilt as well. More and more satellites being built by Unique. The front line is collapsing in the west. As I said, it is in the east. Forces are retreating, moving back to more defensible position. Line of PD to protect Crab over here as well. I feel like at this point in the replay, I'm going to speed it up to 2. Have I been sitting at 1 the entire time? I feel like that... Hopefully that wasn't the case the entire time, but it's a little awkward if it was. 1 isn't that bad in terms of speed. But as, of course, if the replay goes faster, more chances I miss stuff, more opportunities for me to not cover as much as I would like to. But stuff this happens, of course. I'm distracted by one thing or the other. I'm not perfect at this casting thing, even though I've done it 300 plus times. I'm getting better with every cast, but it is slow increments. Sometimes I make a couple mistakes and have to reassess my strategies. But, it's thanks to everybody's patience and comments being like, hey, you need to do better, so do better. I'm like, okay. Now we see the Strat Bombers outbound from Baranachek going after the chicken. Trying to take out one of the experimentals. I feel like it's too late, though, at least on the western side. Had those bombers come in, especially when there were ground units over here protecting the reclaim that BRS was going after. That would have been a perfect time to attack, because Team 2 was obviously distracted with that. I mean, 5 satellites have been built. Sorry, 7 of them have been built. 8th one is started, and more of them being built all the time. Another explosion happening. Looks like it's an SACU being destroyed by the satellites overhead. This one is gone. This one's about to be gone. Pigeons are being focused down, of course, because that provides a nice little AoE explosion. And there go the hit points. Oh, nope. Shield popped back online. And another explosion in the west. Unique control carries, leaving Baranachek the sole survivor of Team 1. And at this point in the game, again, it's a 6v1 at this point. Team 1 would need a miracle and then some. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chickens. One of them severely wounded. 9 chickens online. I just say send them in at that point. Just full send it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot. Another chicken is online. 10 chickens. 11 chickens. 11 chickens online. The artillery from Team 2 is actually targeting the chicken producing facilities. And in the west, they're just popping up. They're like rabbits. They're just popping up like mad. Artillery focusing on the satellites in the west. One of them remains. And it's not going to remain for very much longer. The last attempt by Baranachek to push forward with all of these chickens. I'm going to slow it down so we can see in all of its glory how it comes out. Look at this. We see 3 Colossus moving south. Actually, they're retreating at this point. The FAF boys are retreating. The Crab's moving in. Crab with the brick support. We do see that I think they might kill off the Crab. It might be enough firepower. We also see a lot of Cougars in the mix, but the just longish range firepower. Look at these chickens just mow everything. Better nuke this, says Battlefront. Nuke is outbound, and it's been it's definitely led. It's gonna take a second to get there. It's gonna be close. It's gonna definitely strike a few of them. I just want to see a nice little aerial view. There's also a satellite overhead, because why not? There goes the nuke. It is inbound. It's going to impact the middle. Do the chickens scatter? I think these south ones might be fine, but let's see. Kaboom! Takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the chickens, severely wounding a 7th one. This one was the one that was already wounded. That hurts. That's a lot of experimentals dead. I should have looked at the mass killed off from that nuke. 174,000 total. That is a lot of mass dead. Cuts off a ton of the momentum, if everything. My nuke I mean, that nuke, I mean, it could have been a little bit more to the east and would have killed probably 2 more of them. But 6 out of 10, that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good average there, considering it was a moving target and the nukes are pretty slow, to be fair. You kind of have to lead it depending on the size of the map. But with only 4, actually there's 5 chickens remaining, I guess. I did my math when there's 11 chickens. 6 out of 11, still not bad. Half of them is pretty good. Half of them is pretty good. 2 Colossus remain. This one will die. This one will probably survive. Can be close. And I hear strap bombers raining somewhere over the map. Over here in the north, Colossus takes out the air grid here for Veronicek. And like I said, it is the beginning of the end. We'll wrap this up. This chicken does die. And will this chicken kill off the last Colossus in the east? Looks like it is going to. The chicken will survive. There's also sniper bots moving in and falling back. Fat Boy online. More satellites, more satellites, more satellites. There's Veronicek. Maverick, he's sitting at 7, 10 so far. Trying to spend that mass as much as he can. Also has an artillery. 2 artilleries online here for literal. But again, like I said, it's essentially just cleanup operations. Kill off Veronicek's comm. That is game here for Team 2. I'm going to speed it up to 4. I know it lasts for a couple more minutes. That's why I'm speeding up as much as I am. Chicken moves in, tries to do what it can. Trying to dance, trying to bob and weave. But that chicken is going to die. Kill off some engineers. Why are we still playing this, says Squealer? I wanted my salvation. Wait. Hold on, let me slow down a second. What's going on? It looks like he buys on it. You can leave now. And then Squealer says fair. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, it's true, though. It's definitely fair. Like, I wanted to build it. I wanted to see it built. Like, yeah, it's fair. No Paragon? Sad? Okay, well, obviously unfortunate to not see a Paragon in this game, considering, there's 2 Aeon players. One of them should have gone for Paragon, but They also built the Salvation, so why not? All right, it's 56 minutes on the clock, going up to 4 plus 4 speed. Colossus being destroyed by Whalers. I will scout with the GCs that don't have Omnis. But why not? 11 satellites. That is a lot of satellites there, my friend. That is a lot of them. And I like the green units and the red. Very, very Christmassy, very festive, even though it's not Christmas yet. Nuke misses the comm of Veronicek. Veronicek is still alive. 700 hit points remain. Autumn's. Oh, that was on top. I don't know if that was the strap bomber or not. Looks like it was the. I don't know. It might have been Awasa, but it doesn't matter. Team 2 wins the game with all of their players remaining. The MVP of this game. That's definitely going to be a hard one. Maverick made a very good. Not attempt, but made a very good showing here this game. He went for those drops. Love to see that. Did a very nice number on Igrek, killing off a lot of his mass income. Went after, of course, Pepe's. Took his mass extractor. He took it back. Then he took it back. Then probably he took it back again. He killed off Igrek over here and essentially just held back and just went for satellites. And, he decided what he wanted to do. When I've done enough, I'm going to hold back. And he was very solid. Team 2 had 2 air players, not really super focused from Maverick's side, but was able to assist a little bit. Team 1's Veronicek had air control for most of the game. I wish he went for more strap bombers or gunships or something to take out this group of satellites. That was really the driving force for why Team 1 was, like, okay, we got to respond to this, And that kind of is what broke, I think, the western side for Team 1. Because they were focusing so much on going for artillery, going after the satellites, that they weren't concentrating that much on the land side of things in the west. But, I mean, Literal did a very good job with his... he built his own satellites, of course. Built his Stone Anger. It didn't have that much presence in the game. It did kill off those chickens over there, but that was more of a nice show of things, not necessarily like a game-winning move. I might have to just give it to Maverick. I really don't know. But let me know down in the comments what you think who the MVP of this game should be. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will hopefully see every single one of you in the next one.